Hey everyone, this is Dirt Merchant LC, and I have made the bold decision to keep my instructional videos and my ranting videos completely separate with a high brick wall between them. Anyway, I have decided to launch a new series, and this is going to be this week's Dirt. And in light of the fact that my videos have been kind of few and far between because my life's been a little bit busy, I'm going to promise that every Sunday I will update this channel. So once every Sunday, I'll at least have a new piece of information for everyone as far as how to make the game better or any sort of interesting information that I find. Anyway, without further ado, this week's Dirt. Now for those that play Destiny, lag is probably no stranger to you. As you can see right here, I get shot through my bubble. Anyway, with that said, one of the main problems I have in this game is, as of the April update, there's a new delay with the Armor of Light when it comes to activating in your bubble. And that's one topic, and the next topic I'm going to also discuss in this video is the fact that you don't always get your super energy back while you're killed while activating your bubble. Every super in the game, it gets their super back, as you just saw there before the update. But however, defenders are at a little bit of a disadvantage because they're the only ones that don't get their super back. Anyway, this is in Dark Below. This is a very old video. As you can see, I put my bubble down and I managed to catch a rocket with my bubble. However, after the update, as you can see there, I get killed while catching a rocket. And this made me really curious because this has happened again and again over and over. And at first I thought it was a timing thing, like maybe in that clip I was just a little bit sooner to deploy my bubble. But as you'll see here, frame by frame, my bubble is completely on the ground and up and running by the time the rocket gets to me. And once again, here's the other example. And it appears that I get my Armor of Light even before you see my health bar show up. So this makes me think that there's a new delay that was accidentally incorporated. And what you're seeing here is actually me editing this very video. I was so curious, I wanted to absolutely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this delay is actually a thing. And what I'm going to do is go frame by frame through the process of deploying the bubble. I'm going to start right here where you can clearly see outside of the bubble. That's what I'm going to use as my reference point for frame 1. As you can see, you can clearly see the rocket here in frame 2 enter the bubble. And as I keep clicking here, frame 3, the rocket is actually just a little bit past me. By the way, this is a truth rocket, so you can just for the sake of reference. And frame 4, you can see a little bit of light reflecting around off the bubble. And by frame 5, I'm going to be a little bit generous here. You can tell I'm going to be generous with my frame count here. So within 5 frames, the explosion goes off, and I'm just going to call that the point of reference to where I die. Frame 6, you can see my health bar move, but let's just err on the side of caution and call that frame 5. So now, going to the example in Dark Below in this Iron Banner game, a long time ago before the April update, once again, I'm going to use the point of reference to where my bubble is clearly visible and when you can see through it without any blur or any high contrast going on. So right about here is where I'm going to draw the line. So this is frame 1. So the other one, I was dead in 5 frames. So I'm going to click along. Okay, frame 2, you can see they started shooting at my bubble. And moving on to frame 3, boom. The rocket actually hits me in 3 frames as opposed to 5, and I'm not dead. So this is where the Armor of Light must have kicked in. And as you can see, here's a 4th frame, and my Armor of Light, you can see there's a smidge left. So my Armor of Light kicked in 3 frames before the April update. This is back in Dark Below. And the rocket even hit me sooner in this example. And unfortunately, this is the only example I have, or one of the very few I was able to find before the April update. But it is very clear to me that after April, there's a new delay that was incorporated. And what you saw there was just an example of how many frames it takes to complete the rest of the animation. So with that delay in mind, as you can see, there's a little bit of healing that was done, and actually I got one-shot meleeed after my bubbles deployed. And there's another example of a rocket. And here's an example with the golden gun. And now what's unique about these videos is that I'm actually killed before the bubble is even visible. And it still drops the orbs of light and takes my super away. As you can see, right here, okay, you might be able to argue my bubble was on the ground, and it should take my super energy. But if my super energy is being used, I should have had Armor of Light and able to survive the shot. And right here, it is absolutely undeniable my bubble was not even on the ground yet. But look to the left, it says I dropped 2 orbs of light, and upon respawn, my super energy is gone. So I find that there needs to be a change here in the system. Now, with that said, the way I believe the current order of events for activating a bubble in this game is, and I'm very certain this is the order. I didn't program the game, but this is what it seems the order of events appears to be, is number 1, you have your casting animation, and that is your character moving their hands or whatever right when you hit the bumper. And next is everyone gets a phase of damage resistance. This is true for all supers. When you hit the bumpers and you're loading up your super, you become a little bit harder to kill, and this is true on every class. And then what happens is your super energy is expended and your orbs of light drop, and this is where the problem is. You lose your super energy and you drop the orbs of light, and this happens before your damage resistance ends, before your bubble is even fully visible, as you saw with the example with the golden gun there. And there's approximately about a quarter of a second delay before you even get your Armor of Light. So there's this dead spot between, okay, you used your super energy, you dropped your orbs of light, but you don't get your Armor of Light yet, and you're still really easy to kill. So that's where I believe the problem's at. And then after your Armor of Light's effective, your hands go back to your side, and your gun comes up, and the super's over. Now, what I believe the system should do, and where I believe it seemed like the order of events used to be, at least in my opinion as playing a defender, you'd start your casting animation, as always, you'd hit your bumpers, your hands would move, and then you'd get your damage resistance like any other class, and then you'd hit the ground, your bubble would become fully visible, and at the same time, that very instant that your bubble was visible, or maybe a frame later as you saw in that Iron Banner match, your Armor of Light is active. So your bubble hits the ground, there's no delay, your Armor of Light's active, your damage resistance phase of the super activation ends, of course, because that would be a little bit broken in combination with the Armor of Light resistance. And immediately after your Armor of Light is active, and it's very important this happens after you get the Armor of Light, then it uses your super energy and your orbs of light drop. Because there have been times where I actually have, of course, been killed while activating my bubble in Dark Below, and I would still respawn with my super energy in the normal manner. So it's very important, I think, that another problem here that needs to be fixed is that it takes your super energy and drops the orbs of light after the Armor of Light kicks in. And then, of course, it ends with your hands dropping back to your sides and your gun coming back up. So I think this order of events might need to be tweaked a little bit, or at least double checked, just to make sure that that nasty delay isn't there anymore, and it will save a lot of agony for defenders out there, especially in the Crucible. And this actually does happen in PvE as well. I have been killed while deploying my bubble by I've been killed by a Hive Shredder or whatever, some sort of, you name it, whatever ad, I've been killed by it while deploying my bubble at a very inconvenient time. So hopefully this will shed some light on the subject, no pun intended, and this problem will be fixed soon by Bungie representatives. Thank you very much for watching. This is This Week's Dirt. I'm out of here.